A cup of coffee changed my life. This is going back, way back, to when I first met Mrs. Lorenzi. I walked into Kawa Coffee Shop to meet this woman who was starting this new school. My brother was going there, but I was sure that I would not be. You see, I wanted to go to Shore Acres with my cousins. I told my mom before we went in, I'm not going to this school and nothing can change my mind. Then after 20 minutes talking with Miss Lorenzi, we walked out and I said, okay, forget everything I said before. I am going to this school and nothing can change my mind this time. So what happened in that 20-minute conversation that flipped me like an omelet? Was I promised cotton candy for breakfast? Was I led to believe we'd out of school on a unicorn? Did this woman make me an offer I couldn't refuse? Not exactly. Instead, she did something that no other teacher had ever done before. She asked me how I would like school to be different. She wanted to know what made me feel most inspired to learn. She asked a bunch of questions about the things I'm interested in. And when I told her, she really listened. The only question I had left was, what will the other kids be like? I got that answer long before the first day. Miss Lorenzi had all the families come together at the spot where the new school would be. We all walked around the building and shared our ideas about how the school could look, feel, and function. Then we went down to Black Crow Coffee Shop. This woman enjoys her coffee. There were no rules. We were reimagining how school could be. To start the year, we had our leadership unit. And in my opinion, it was our most powerful unit because it tied into every subject. Being a leader isn't just in one certain subject. It's about life. If you're a leader, then you'll understand the differences and changes in people. If you're a leader, you'll understand that everyone around you is different, and that's okay. I've learned to lead my own life because I've learned to take charge of what I'm learning. And that can help me as I get older and start looking for a career. Proof we don't have to wait to start our real lives. This year, we also got to learn differently by setting up our own interviews with experts. We first had to learn how to formally introduce ourselves. Which is important to do because it can change people's thoughts about you. Let's say you're a kid, like we are, and you walk into a fancy business building, look people straight in the eye, and give a firm handshake. People will change their thoughts from, what are these kids doing here, to come on in. One interview we had where we had to formally introduce ourselves was with the leader of our city, the mayor. In the interview, we asked him about his definition of a leader. He shared that leaders learn from their mistakes, which made me think that leadership can not only change your own life, but it can change someone else's. By being around positive leaders and people who make good choices, instead of people who are negative and don't care, has really made a difference in my life. After some practice, I believe that every single person at Indi-ED has learned to become an inspiring leader. Another way we learn differently is by making real-life connections. What other schools call field trips is what we simply call learning. One of my favorite examples of learning in the real world is our experience at Localtopia. Localtopia is a gathering in Williams Park where a bunch of companies get together and sell their items. We as Indi-ED had a tent at Localtopia where we sold paintings, matted art, bookmarks, and suspended cards. But we didn't just sell things. We also learned. We learned how to deal with different kinds of people, how to raise money, and even how to sell successful prices. Turns out, all you need is happy, smiling, creative kids and successful prices. Another example of how 1 year can change a life at Indi-ED is building trust. All of the kids, teachers, and even parents have trust and respect for each other. And we know anytime we have each other's back. I'm going to show you a quick little video of my brother Ben swinging from one of the banyan trees. And when it's done, I'll explain why what he did was important. Now yes, he swung from that branch and he fell. Hilarious. But the important part is what he did after that. He got back on that branch, he swung, and he landed it. He trusted himself. I think that's a great example about how when you trust yourself, you are more likely to succeed. At the beginning of the year, we read a book called The Positive Dog. The two main lessons for me were the insane difference of positivity and negativity and tricks on how to become more positive. One of those tricks that works for me is the power of saying get to instead of have to. For example, the next time you tell someone, oh, I have to walk my dog, oh, I have to do this and that, just stop and think. It's not about having to do it, it's about the opportunity you have of getting to do it. For example, we get to go to this incredible school. We get to learn in the real world. We get to learn differently and to be individuals. We get to trust ourselves and each other. Even though we know it's not okay for kids to drink coffee regularly, I'm thankful that I got to sit down and have a cup of coffee with that lady. It's changed my life and I know it will continue.